What a bloody good news day it is, eh, mate? Happy Friday indeed. How you going, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video here on the channel with some exciting TMNT slash movie related news. I woke up to some posts on my social media feed that there is a Last Ronin, a TMNT Last Ronin live action rated R film in the works from Paramount, which just got my turtle juices flowing, got me very excited, and I want to bloody talk about it because over the last couple of years, we exactly haven't had the best run of TMNT films. When it came to the Michael Bay produced films, they were okay, but by the second one, it was pretty lame. I dug the design of the turtles. I wasn't exactly a fan of them all being CGI, mocap and stuff like that, but I dug the aesthetic and where they were going, even though the facial expressions and the facial design just was a little bit of nightmare fuel. But when TMNT Out of the Shadows came out, they completely lost me. The characterization of Casey Jones, played by Stephen Amell, who I think was a good Casey Jones, aesthetic-wise, dialogue-wise, writing-wise, I don't think that was Casey Jones at all. And then we had TMNT Mutant Mayhem from Seth Rogen that came out last year. I actually haven't even seen that one yet. I took the bloody jacket to New York last week, so I still haven't seen that one. I definitely do want to see it, but I think because we had it so good with the original 1990 live action film, it's so hard to top that. Secret of the Ooze came out, and then they utilized Jim Henson Studios once again with those beautiful animatronic costumes, even though I feel like the 1990 costumes still look better than the Secret of the Ooze costumes because they kind of made them a bit more babyish looking, if that makes sense. They didn't use their weapons because a lot of parents complained about the original 1990 film. And then by the time TMNT 3 came out, or Turtles in Time, whatever you want to call it, that was a completely different effects group, and they just look like giant spotty frogs. So my biggest concern with this is if indeed, being live action, they're gonna do practical suits, animatronics, or are they still going to do the mocap route? Look, you've got to take into consideration, we've come so far with how good animatronics are. Look what Jim Henson Studios did back in 1990. Those suits still hold up today. If you haven't checked out my timeless costuming video about those particular suits, which I put up last week, highly recommend checking that out. The work that went into it was crazy, and that was back in 1990. Imagine what they can do now, even if they incorporate little bits of VFX to clean up the facial expressions of the suits and whatnot. Anyway, I'm getting a bit carried away. But the article I'm going to be referencing comes from the good folks at Variety, and they go on to say, 40-year-old kid-friendly franchise, fuck me, it's 40 years old. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is returning to movie theaters in live action in a project that Paramount Pictures is... Oh, fuck. Oh, I lost a sneeze. Damn it. The studio is developing the bloody and intense graphic novel series Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles The Last Ronin with screenwriter Tyler Burton Smith, Boy Kills World, and Walter Hamada's 18Hertz production company through his multi-year deal. The 2020 to 2022 miniseries, written by original Turtle creators Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird, with Eastman and Tom Waltz developing the script, is set in a bleak dystopian future in which Oroko Hiroto, the grandson of the Turtles' arch-nemesis Shredder, rules New York City. Hiroto has killed all but one of the Turtles, as well as their mentor Splinter. The remaining Turtle seeks revenge by wielding all four of the signature weapons of his brothers. That's what I love about The Last Ronin, the design of the turtle in that particular storyline. Now, whether or not they're going to be going with Michelangelo as the Last Ronin in this one, obviously we have the grandson of Shredder ruling New York with an iron fist. But the aesthetic, the design, the fact that he still carries around the weapons of his dead brothers as mementos, but also utilizing them as weapons. It's so badass, it's so metal, and I love it. The fact that they're going live action just makes me really happy. The project is the latest and perhaps boldest adaptation of the long-running Turtles franchise, which Eastman and Laird created as comic book series in 1984. Originally intended as a parody of a popular comic book tropes at the time, the series became a sensation in its own right, spawning a toy line, popular animated series at several video games, and to date, 7 feature film adaptations, both in live action and animation. Starting in 1990 with the most recent film, 2023's animated Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem, was a modest hit for Paramount, grossing $118.6 million in the US and Canada and $180.5 million worldwide. So like I said, I still haven't seen Mutant Mayhem. I'm one of those people where it's live action or nothing. Again, like they just achieved greatness in 1990. The source material for The Last Ronin is quite heavy, it's brutal, and I think if you're gonna do this, you've got to commit to the R rating, not like a soft R rating. This thing needs to be brutal, up there with, say, how they committed to making Deadpool extremely violent and graphic. And honestly, this news completely caught me off guard. Like, I never thought we'd see a live action adaptation of the Last Ronin storyline because of the subject matter, and obviously you want to appeal to the widest audience possible, which includes kids, and this storyline and the aesthetic of this storyline isn't exactly for your younger demographic. But at the same time, I give them props for at least saying, hey, let's give this a go. I think we could really do something special here, but you've got to commit to the bit. You've got to commit to that R rating, and you've got to commit to paying respect to the original source material. And if you're gonna do it, for fuck's sake, please do practical costumes and animatronics. Imagine going back to Jim Henson Studios and say, hey, let's do this now with your updated tech, how far you've come. I love what they did in Five Nights at Freddy's with those animatronics, even though they're worlds apart in regards to aesthetics, mechanics, and stuff like that. Because this needs to be a turtle, like a walking, talking, realistic turtle that you buy into the fact that it's not some bloke in a suit. I just think that would be a great little story. It's coming full circle. Brian Henson is now in charge, and Brian Henson started out doing, I think it was second unit directing on the first Turtles film, as well as wrangling the suits along with his dad, Jim Henson. So guys, overall, I am psyched. Like, again, I did not expect this news to come out, or like anything like this to ever come out in terms of doing a live action adaptation of The Last Ronin. It's just got so much badass potential. It's metal. I love the fact we're in a dystopian New York, ruled by the grandson of the Shredder. Michelangelo's all that's left, or if they go along the line of Michelangelo, they just get that design right with the look of the Last Ronin turtle, with all the weapons of his dead brothers. But again, my biggest concern is whether or not they're gonna go practical, or they're gonna go CGI, or if they do mostly practical and just incorporate little elements of CGI, but also committing to that R rating. It's go hard or go home. So guys, with that being said, let me know your thoughts down below on the announcement of them developing and creating a live action TMNT Last Ronin R-rated movie. Very excited, but if you're gonna do it right. Love you guts, and I'll catch you in the next one.